I missed my flight. Bear in mind, Julie has a boyfriend at home. What are you doing? And to be honest with you, everyone can do what they want. I don't care. I'm not jealous of you. I couldn't care less. But it was like, babes, you pulled one yesterday and you're pulling another one today when you have a boyfriend. How does that how does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? She told me she met this guy during shopping and I shouldn't ask him any questions. I literally didn't say a word to him. I think what I said to him was, oh, what's your name?
Rah, that's a proper mad question, that.
And then she was like, Fatima, I told you not to say anything. I told you not to ask him questions. And she's the type of person that loves to act up in front of people. And that really, really pisses me off because it's like, babes, be yourself. Why do you need to act like you're bad? You ain't bad. Stop. Yeah, that was the weird encounter when we were at the shisha lounge with this random guy, and guess who happens to come through? Ryan. And he's there looking at me like, wow, my girl's moved on already. I knew she was loving it because she likes the attention from guys. Like she loved the attention, like, of Ryan being like, okay, you know, the guy, I don't even know his name, that guy just followed her and he paid for her shopping or something like that.
You're saying that you're just dating me because I can buy you things.
Yes.
He eventually left, and then she cuddled up to Ryan afterwards, and she was telling me afterwards that Ryan was like, oh, who's that guy, da 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 da, who's this, da, da, da. And I'm just like, why? Why? I don't care for this. I actually don't. It's not entertainment for me. Do you know what I mean? So the following day was our last day in Turkey, and I was telling her what airport I was in, and she was like, oh, that's the same one as mine. So we were kind of like making arrangements for the next day. And then she was telling me how, by the way, this was in the hotel. After the shisha lounge, we went back to our hotel and we were making plans about how we were going to the airport. And she told me that when she was talking to Ryan that he wants to take her out. And I thought the last day we would go to do a Turkish bath. She was like, oh, you can go, it's fine. I was thinking to myself, so I'm gonna have another day on my own. Like, what the hell? I might as well have done a solo trip at this point. That's what I was thinking. The next day, to be honest with you, we didn't even have breakfast together. Usually we had breakfast together. Yeah, we didn't even have breakfast together. From the morning, she was out with Ryan, and I had breakfast on my own that day. I did the Turkish bath on my own. I'd had massage on my own. And then I waited for her at the shisha lounge because we arranged to go to the airport at 5. Our flight was around 9. Her flight was at 9:30, and then my one was at 9 o'clock because we booked it at different times. We had different flights. So I waited for her after the Turkish bath at the shisha lounge, and I was waiting. Bear in mind, you can't have any Wi-Fi in Turkey because it's not included in the European package. So for example, if I go to Spain, because it's in Europe, I still get Wi-Fi, I can still call, but in Turkey I can't, which is so annoying. Yeah, so I couldn't contact her. I had no idea where she was. I was waiting for her. I waited for her till what time? We said we would go to the airport at 5. She came at 7. She came at 7, bruv. Like, I was so pissed off, like, with her. I didn't want to talk to her. When I'm pissed off, I'm so quiet because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to say something I regret. So when she came now with Ryan, she was like, oh, can I have a tea, please, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, babes, we've got somewhere to go, you know. We actually got somewhere to go. What do you mean? What the hell? And she's there taking a sweet ass time, like, and eventually the staff at the restaurant, because like we kind of built a relationship with them, they were like, listen, it's 7:30, you need to get that flight, you need to get that flight ASAP. And it was an hour away as well, so it was like, come on man, hurry up. So we finally got in the taxi, booked the taxis. Taxi came, we got in there. I wasn't talking to her much because she's there going on about her amazing date with Ryan, which I couldn't give a damn about. I couldn't care less, man. I actually couldn't. It was just annoying because I was thinking, I was so anxious. She's like, why are you so anxious for? Why are you so anxious? You don't need to be anxious. And I was like, I've already missed a flight during this trip. I don't want to miss another one. Okay, and my one is earlier than yours. You didn't think about that. And to be honest with you, I should have left. I should have left her, and you know, I would have been on that flight. But when I got to the airport now, we separated because she's rushing off to her airline, I'm rushing off to mine. When I went there, do you know what they told me? Do you know what they told me? This isn't the right airport. It's the other one, an hour away. I just broke down in tears.
Hey pal.
I cried like
You
a
just
baby.
blowing
I
some
was
stupid
just
down?
like, wow, really?
Say that again.
Really? And I know it's my fault for not checking what exact airport it was, but she was the one that was telling the taxi man what airport it was, and I thought it was the same one that I arrived at. I didn't know there was two. Do you know what I mean? For me, I should have done my research, but I didn't. And yeah, it was late at night. At this point, I was thinking, how do I get to the other airport? So they told me I can take a coach. I waited for the coach for about an hour, and then I got on there, and it took another hour and a bit to get there. So I arrived there around 11, and I said to them, like, I've missed my flight, I have nowhere to stay, when's the next one? I had to pay for another flight first thing in the morning, about 9 o'clock. When I tried to find somewhere to stay, most of them only took cash, and I didn't have any cash. I used all my cash. It was just a nightmare. It was actually a nightmare. Luckily I had Apple Pay, because my card for some reason wasn't working. Everything you could think that went wrong on that trip went wrong. Like, it was just an absolute madness. So okay, I get to this hotel that accepts card now, and then there was a chef there that could see that I was distressed and upset, and he was like, oh, you hungry? And I was like, yeah, but I have no money, I don't have any cash. Like, I know you guys only take cash, especially with food. That chef, I think that food shop only took cash. And he was like, oh, okay, all right, no worries. So I go to my hotel room, I just literally lie on the bed, and I'm just like, wow, I'm actually going through a madness. I'm going through an absolute madness. I hear a knock on the door. It's that same guy, and he has food. I was so happy when he had that food, because I was so hungry. It was I think it was like a doner kebab and some salad with rice. And I was like, rah, bruv, my dreams have come true. I'm gonna be fed. Like, oh my God, like, there's a God. that's how I felt. And he comes in with the food, right? I'm expecting him to leave. I was like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I'm expecting him to leave, and he stays in the room. He locked the door and stayed in the room and watched me eat. And I was like, okay, is this guy gonna leave? he looked like he was in his 60s. I'm not gonna lie, he looked like he was in his 60s. And yeah, like, it was probably the most uncomfortable situation I've ever been in. A 60-year-old man watching me eat on my hotel bed. Like, it was just a lot. And I decided to call my boyfriend just in case, like, something was to happen. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh, hi girl, how you doing, da, da, da. You know, like, me and my boyfriend were so playful and stuff. So yeah, I was like, babes, I decided to talk really, really fast because I knew they wouldn't understand if I talked in London slang and really fast. I was like, babes, mans don't want to leave, bruv. Man's giving me food, you don't want to leave. Like, what? What? Hell? And he was like, tell him, just eat as much as you can quickly, and just tell him that you're finished, you're finished. So I was trying to tell my man that I'm full. Yeah, I'm full, I'm touching my belly. And he decided to grab my belly, yeah, and say, you're full. And then at this point, I'm just like, take the food, I'm done, take the food. Like, and then they're looking at me like he's on it, you know. And I'm looking all, I was looking at him scared. Like, I was like, I'm done. I was on my own, I was scared, I was terrified, I literally froze. I didn't know what to do. I was so scared. And he left, I closed the door. I literally was just, I was awake the whole night because I was so terrified that he would just come in, might get a spare key and just come in and attack me or something. I was honestly so terrified. Like, nothing like that has ever happened to me in my life. Like, and for some people to just look at me and think they can take advantage of me is disgusting. Like, it was quite a traumatic thing that happened to me. And later that night, I spoke to my friend, and I didn't tell her the situation. I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like I told her that she made me miss my flight, but I didn't tell her the situation of what happened in the hotel, because it was just like, she was very insensitive to me missing my flight. She was just like, oh, well, that's not really my fault. Maybe you should have checked the hotel. And I was like, well, I couldn't, because you told me straight away that it was the same one, and you told the taxi driver the hotel. I thought we were going to the hotel that I arrived at. So she was just very dismissive and insensitive. So I felt like if I told her about what happened to me in the hotel, she would do the same thing. Like, she would act like she wouldn't care, and that would make me even more upset than I already was. So so the next day, the first thing I did was get a taxi literally at 7 o'clock, and got to the hotel, got to the airport. It was only 10 minutes away. Waited there, made sure I got on that flight, and I was back home safe and sound the next day. But it was actually a lot. Like, that trip, I pretty much half the trip I did a solo trip, pretty much. Like, it was just a madness. And that happening to me when I missed my flight and going to a random hotel, it was a lot. It was a lot. But guys, that is the end of my story time. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Anyways, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed that story time. And make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified every single time I post. And I will see you on my next video, guys. Mwah.